What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pinfalls and Playbooks podcast, episode number 53. As always, I'm your host, Faiz Kabir, alongside my co-host, Farden Khan. And guys, this week, we're pretty much going to be talking about wrestling, where we're going to be coming off the heels of Summerslam. Obviously, we didn't capture what happened last week with the aftermath of Summerslam, but stories have been picking up. There's new storylines being pretty much made into Money in the Bank and even later on in the year. And in terms of sports, there's not much going on, as this is pretty much the off-season in terms of the main really sports that's going on right there. But we're going to be talking about MLB recap, what's going on right now. And the NBA schedule did come out, so we have some thoughts on that as well. Plus, at the end of the show, we're going to be doing a quick WWE Trivia quiz that we're going to really want to touch upon and see how good is our WWE Trivia, really. But that's pretty much episode for this week, so stay tuned and let's get straight into this week's episode. First up in our WWE recap is SmackDown. Now SmackDown, honestly, it was a pretty good show, and it was good to see SmackDown pretty much get that fire and lit right back into the way that we kind of remember SmackDown to be, and that was pretty much with the rejuvenation of all these new, I guess you wouldn't call them new rivalries. There's one new rivalry and there's one old rivalry, but it kind of refueled the feeling for SmackDown.
Yeah, I feel like the transition of superstars coming from Raw to SmackDown was much needed, because I know earlier on in the year, we just kept saying like, "Yo, SmackDown is a very missable show."
Yeah.
I feel like each week as it progressed, it was the same constant thing. And right now, it definitely was a much needed change.
For sure.
And I feel like SmackDown is more interesting to watch than Raw as of right now. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing for them.
So let's get into the key things about SmackDown. And the main thing about this show is pretty much it's a two-match or two rivalry show at this point. First up, we start off with Cody Rhodes. He came out to address the crowd, and he pretty much was calling on Randy Orton. We had CM Punk interrupt him, and they just want to pretty much clear the air to make sure that these two weren't in cahoots together against Cody Rhodes. So that pretty much put that to bed, and CM Punk stayed out there, which led to Kevin Owens coming out. And we finally got our first promo battle between Kevin Owens and CM Punk. I know everyone's pretty much WWE fans have been clamoring for this as soon as CM Punk came back to the company. And we know that people in the WWE know, in the wrestling world know that there is some bad blood between these two outside of WWE, even in real life. So it was good to see that these guys were able to put their obviously differences aside, be professional, and they're kind of playing on that on TV, right? They're using those things where they're going to be like, we're going to be professional, and they're going to pretty much use that same story in their WWE feud.
We saw CM Punk kept saying every time he said something, "I'm keeping it professional," because we saw all the management come out. They tried to separate the two.
Yeah.
But they did keep it professional, which is crazy to see, because they kept it mellow. They kept it building up to whenever they decided to fight, and we actually did find out when they are going to fight each other.
Right, so later on in the show, it was pretty much decided that Kevin Owens is going to be pretty much using his number one contendership in August 21st, I believe. He's going to be challenging CM Punk in Toronto, so he obviously wants to have the little Canadian background or crowd behind him. So we're going to see that match scheduled pretty much for SmackDown in 2 weeks. But in this promo battle, there was pretty much, like you said, they were keeping it professional. They were trying to throw digs at each other. We're saying the whole story is Kevin Owens is saying that he doesn't want to be someone like CM Punk, a pretty much disgruntled veteran where he has to pretty much buy for respect and has to get respect at this point. And CM Punk's rebuttal is just, I'm the one that kind of paved the way for you guys to get into this company because he was an indie darling.
Yeah, he kept saying that he's the best in the world, and I feel like that's something that CM Punk reiterates to anybody that challenges him.
Right.
Kevin Owens is no exception.
For sure. So we're going to see how they're probably going to have another promo battle leading right up to their SmackDown match. I doubt that's going to be the one and done match. This is definitely going to be leading to a lot more. Most likely, probably at Money in the Bank, we could see another championship match there. I know a lot of people want Kevin Owens to pick up the championship and beat CM Punk. It's kind of hard to see that happening when CM Punk just pretty much won the title.
Yeah.
So we're going to see where this story progresses, but this is going to be one of the more interesting feuds to end the year, in my opinion. Next up, we had Chelsea Green. She celebrated her win. She came out, interestingly, she did say that she is now the WWE champion. She's not the interim, so they didn't say that. And that's because Rhea Ripley pretty much had a surgery. She's out for 6 months, and most likely that means that if you do it timeline-wise, she's going to be back for Rumble. No, she's back for Rumble. Yeah,
okay.
That's what is announced for. She's going to be back in time for the Rumble. Because they said about 5 months, 5 to 6 months, that's Rumble time. So if she's back in time for Rumble, that's your early Rumble prediction and winner right there. But I don't know what's going on with this women's division because now Chelsea Green is injured. And we don't know what the story is with it because all we do find out is it's an orbital broken bone. That could mean she could be out for weeks or it could be months. and that puts the WWE Women's Championship in limbo again.
Yeah, this thing's been like hot potato for like the last several months, and I don't know, man.
It's due to injury. You can't really do much about it.
I understand that, man. It's crazy.
So now, most likely, we'll see if Chelsea Green stays as champion or what they're going to do on SmackDown moving forward. Next up, we had Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. They had another promo battle where Cody Rhodes pretty much put up a fiery promo against Randy Orton, just saying that he's ready to take him out. They're ready to continue their feud after WrestleMania. And most likely, they're going to want to do it their way now without having TKO involved. And we can finally truly see how a Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton build will be between the two of them. It's going to be fun to see. We know Randy Orton's going to be playing that Viper, the killer. And Cody Rhodes pretty much ended this promo with a cold line with Randy Orton because Randy Orton is the only last legend around, and he's known to be the legend killer. And Cody Rhodes basically said, who's going to be the one to kill you? So Cody Rhodes is pretty much going to be not adapting the heel turn yet fully, but he's going to be showing a little bit more on the aggressive side, especially working with someone like Randy Orton who's playing that character. And finally, in the main event, the big thing for this show was we had Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill. Finally, they're going to have their one-on-one match. And they finally had it, and there was really nothing special about this match. It was just hot garbage from the beginning. They just did not work well together at all.
I feel like it's just two taller women superstars that, they both have similar, I guess, wrestling moves, and it's hard to try to mimic the other person what they're trying to do, and we clearly saw that in this one.
The chemistry was off. There was horrible botches from each side. Jade Cargill looked like she was kind of lost. Charlotte looked like she had to coach her along the way a lot, and it pretty much ultimately ended with the debut of another NXT women's star, Tatum Paxley. She came up, she joined Alexa Bliss to try to help out to go against B-Fab and the crew, and Misha and Jade Cargill. So they added Tatum Paxley to their crew, and that's just another NXT women's superstar they added, which is crazy because if you think about it, SmackDown has a lot of women now on their roster, but they're not even using them. There's still Blake Monroe, there's still Jordan Grace, where they haven't been doing anything. Julia, Kiana James, there's a lot of people.
Who's the women's IC champ? Or women's US title champ, right? That's
Tiffany Stratton. So Tiffany Stratton is holding that belt, but there's a lot. She's not doing much with it. She's in the feud technically with Fatal Influence, basically, trying to challenge. Someone's going to challenge her. JC Jane is going to be going after the US title possibly, but the story was supposed to be Blake Monroe and Tiffany Stratton, but they pretty much put a halt to that. So I don't know what they're trying to do with the women's division, because obviously Rhea's injury just messed everything up, and now Chelsea's injury puts everything in limbo. So all those women in that whole division is all over the place. And now you do got Charlotte Flair and you got Jade Cargill. They're going to get thrown into this too because they're big superstars that they want to have in this mix. So we'll see how it plays out in the SmackDown picture in the women's division because it's super in limbo. Yeah. But the main feuds is looking very promising for the first interactions that we've seen on SmackDown. But let's go straight into Monday Night Raw. We started the show off with Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa. They were having a nice little promo battle between these two brothers. And it's just Solo pretty much showing his character, what he can be on a babyface side. Jey Uso trying to play the heel role, but he's still getting cheered. People are doing the yeet, so it's very conflicting what these two are trying to do.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's been saying Solo has been on a babyface run, and we've seen it. Like, he had a funny line when Jey Uso was like, "That's your warning shot," and he was like, "Yo, is everybody okay back there?" Like, that's the Solo we kind of needed. He kind of switched from this Roman Reigns persona to sort of like a Rock persona, which is good for him. I feel like he can do it well, and the fans like it, in my opinion. So.
They like it, but the thing is, they have to figure out what exactly is the roles between these two, because Jey Uso's still being cheered. Yeah. And Solo Sikoa is also still being booed at the same time too, but he's being portrayed as a babyface now. But ultimately, this promo battle led to a match being set up for the main event, where if Jey Uso wins, he would deliver Solo like an Amazon package to Roman Reigns next week. Yeah. Which I don't know what that meant, but later on when they elaborated, that basically just means that he's going to have to join the bloodline. And that was the setup for the main event. Next up, we had Penta versus Laredo Kid. Now, we didn't talk about this. This is going to be basically the Luchador tournament, where they're going to be facing Roman Reigns in September in Mexico City. So Roman Reigns is going to be having his first championship defense on television in 4 years, pretty much, which is crazy to say that. But this whole tournament is filled with all luchadors from Raw, SmackDown, and AAA. But it's kind of obvious in my opinion when you look at the bracket. It's going to be Penta.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Penta versus Rey Fenix in the final. It's going to be brother versus brother in the final.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does happen, I would love to see how Roman Reigns fares against the Mexican Destroyer. Like,
yeah, it'd be great. I'm pretty sure he'd sell it really well. Like, it'd be fun to see that matchup for sure. And I think like that matchup is going to be a pathway because this is not happening on Triple Mania. It's going to be happening on September 14th. But I think they're going to be building up to, for example, there could be matches where the Usos can get involved. They can lead to Penta. But I'm glad to see Penta is going to be viewed to getting pushed into that main title picture. So I think with him, with Rey Fenix being involved too, you know, the dream match that everybody always wanted when they came in was the Lucha Brothers versus the Usos. I think that could definitely play a factor, especially if Penta gets into the finals, with the Usos playing a factor as well. That's going to be setting up later on in September, so that's going to be fun to see. Next up, we had Theory, just pretty much destroyed Tozawa. But this was just a setup for more Braun Breaker and Obafemi. And it's surprising to see that they're kind of getting to this right now. It feels like they're building this to the next main event, like next pay-per-view. Like they're gonna, I don't know why they're kind of jumping to it that quickly, but I'm not mad at it. If you really want them to go at it, that's a big match card, no matter what show you put it on, with Obafemi and Braun Breaker, because Braun Breaker in every segment seems like he's obsessed with Obafemi, which is great to see because he's showing that he cares about what people think about him, what people think about Obafemi, because it's obvious those two are the biggest stars going into the future.
Brock Lesnar said that he was the past and Obafemi's the future. He kept asking Paul Heyman, does he consider Obafemi the future of WWE? And that's, I feel like, what Braun Breaker's obsession is going to be moving forward. So this kind of makes sense because both of them are the future of WWE. They're just a matter of who's going to be ahead of one another for the next 5 to 10 years potentially.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be definitely on the Sunday's main event. It could definitely be on the Money in the Bank card. It's going to be a big match no matter when they do it.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a one and done type match.
See, the thing I feel like is they're probably going to do is I think they might do a one and done right now and then maybe recall it back to next year. And because it's just a big match that you want to do on a big show like WrestleMania. It's made to be on that level. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if they do something where Obafemi just beats him and then Braun Breaker wants his win back, wins the Royal Rumble because he was supposed to win it last year. I could definitely see him winning the Rumble this year and challenging Obafemi and wanting to pretty much dethrone him. It'd be good to see because I feel like now you got to switch the story because the story was going to be Obafemi pretty much becoming the crown and being the champion. But at this point, you have an ability to kind of switch it now where Braun Breaker can be the one to chase because Obafemi's already being pushed to the top like that. And I think he's going to beat Roman Reigns at Survivor Series and hold that title going into Mania. So if you do that Braun Breaker chase against Obafemi, that's a good story to definitely have going into Mania. I think that'd be fun to watch going into next year. And next up, we had pretty much the women's title picture. That's starting to heat up a lot more now with Stephanie Vaquera back, with Becky Lynch back. So we're going to see those two fight it out. Stephanie and Becky can have a one-on-one for a number one contenders championship match against Liv, or they can do a triple threat. There's a lot of good things to see in the title picture for the women's division on Raw now, especially with those two coming back. And we'll see who can transition, if Lyra Valkyrie will get into that position, Sol Ruka or Io Sky still around. There's a lot of people that they can still move on to that division.
Yeah, I feel like the Raw women's division is a lot better than the SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like persona-wise right now, because obviously there's a lot of injuries on SmackDown. So storylines for the women's side on Raw is definitely heating up.
Also, they announced that Lola Vice is coming up. So Lola Vice is going to be someone that's going to be added to that roster. And I think that's going to be a pretty good addition too. I think she'll fit right on SmackDown, Raw. And we'll see how she plays into those roles as well. Mm-hmm. Next up, we had Dragon Lee. He beat Dominic Mysterio. And this was just pretty much a quick match. Dragon Lee gets the win over him, but it was just ultimately leading to more of Big Cass coming out. So Big Cass made his return last week, and it looks like he's going to be picking on the mid-carders right now. We saw him take out Javon Evans last week, and now he took out Dragon Lee. After he took out Dragon Lee, Javon Evans came out, and he took him out again. So Big Cass is the big bad right now on the roster. I think he's going to pretty much decimate the mid-card division. He's obviously someone where you see him and you want to see him in the main event picture. Like, how can you not picture him in the main event now, especially if they change his character, the way he acts? He could definitely easily get into that role. But right now, he's probably going to play in the mid-card line. I could definitely see him picking up the championship, the IC title. Big Cass versus Chad Gable would be a great match in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm like just imagining Gable lifting Cass with his finisher, with the rolling pin. Oh my god, that'd be insane. Fucking gut wrenching Cass over his head would be crazy. So I think that's a match they could definitely build into next year for sure. And then lastly, we had the main event where it was just nothing main event. This was just the Bloodline shenanigans again. The Bloodlines are dominating the shows as always. And Jey Uso pretty much beat Solo Sikoa, and now Solo Sikoa has to join the Bloodline again. And that's exactly what's going to be leading into Monday Night Raw next week, where Roman Reigns returns. And we'll see how much of a level of Solo Sikoa is going to be really willing to get into that. Because you know that he's in this babyface role where he wants to play this babyface character. And the fans are going to be cheering for him a lot, especially when they know that he's going to be forced to join the Bloodline. And then you're going to have two people like Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu who are both being cheered still, but they're going to be forced to join the Bloodline. It's going to be a story going into the end of the year, into next year, to see where their roles are going to play, because this Bloodline story seems like it's going to go on forever at this point.
It can go on forever, realistically.
And there's also, we might even hear rumors about Zilla Fatu. He just wrapped up his indie wrestling dates, and he pretty much, he's done with them. Like he pretty much told all these indie wrestler promotions that he's done with the bookings. So that usually means he's getting called to WWE. I don't know if that means he's going to start in NXT, or they're going to pretty much bring him right into the main event roster. That could possibly lead to another person adding to the Bloodline, and the Bloodline's probably bigger than ever at this point with that many people involved. But let's see how that goes up. That sums up our wrestling recap for this week. Pretty much the next few weeks is going to be leading into the two big shows right now in September. It's going to be Sunday night's main event.
And AAA show.
The AAA show. There's also, they're obviously going to start building to the Money in the Bank cards as well. The qualifying matches are going to start soon. And I think there is one more Saudi show in between. I'm not sure when it is. I don't think they announced it yet. It's going to be Crown Jewel, but I just don't know when it is. It might be in late October too. But this is pretty much the period in WWE where it's like just building at this point, because the big shows are pretty much a few months away. But that is our wrestling recap for this week. All right, guys, next up is our sports recap. And pretty much we're going to start off with the MLB and what's been going on since the trade deadline.
Yeah, so the Dodgers, they acquired Tarek Skubal. A lot of people didn't want this to happen, but damn it, it happened. And this kind of just broke the MLB world as of right now. We're going to see the first lockout potentially happen since 1994, because the Dodgers, they're going to sign him to a God knows how long contract for how much money. They're going to defer it to like 2075. I don't know, man. But they did acquire Tarek Skubal. But the upside to this for MLB fans is the Dodgers have been struggling, and Tarek Skubal has been getting hit.
Yeah.
In his last two games, he's given up, I believe, 4+ runs and home runs to two less than stellar teams. So it's a positive sign. But the Dodgers, they're getting Blake Snell back. They're going to get Tyler Glasnow back. They have arguably the best pitching staff in all of baseball right now. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the season, if there is going to be a lockout, because I believe the CBA, it expires in December, somewhere in the beginning of December. So we're going to see a lockout happen for sure. The Yankees, they didn't really do much during the trade deadline. A lot of people were clamoring for them to get a hitting catcher. They didn't do that. A lot of people were clamoring for them to get a bullpen help. They didn't do that. They did acquire Luis Garcia Jr. from the Nationals. He's relatively young, and he's really good. He's a first baseman by choice and also second base if he needs to, right? Yeah. They also got Helio Ramos from the Giants. This is a move because Cody Bellinger, we don't know when he's going to be out, and Aaron Judge looks like he's not going to come back till at least mid-September. Try to get him beefed up for the postseason at that point. They did call up George Lombard Jr. They sent Anthony Volpe down, Jason Dominguez down. A lot of people were calling for George Lombard to come back because people are tired of Anthony Volpe. I, for one, I don't really care about Volpe enough to say we don't need him on the team. But he's been kind of a nuisance. His defense has been suspect ever since he won the Gold Glove in his rookie year. But George Lombard, he's come out and he's showed out.
Yeah.
He's hit home runs. He's gotten on base. And when he's been on base, he's been a demon on base. And that's great for the team.
You know, I did see a crazy stat about Anthony Volpe that at his position, nobody got so many starts at his position by playing with that terrible numbers. Yeah. And it is... People do want to pretty much, you got to find, and people have always been questioning about the Yankees, like, what is their obsession with Anthony Volpe and wanting him to do better? It's just he doesn't show it, and they finally pretty much caved in, and they sent him down.
Yeah, people have been clamoring him to be the the next Derek Jeter, and you can't simply be another person. You can only be the next you. But he has the upside to it. It's just a matter of him staying consistent. And I feel like the Yankees do a terrible job of giving up on players so quickly, but not giving them the chance to play. Because he was hurt earlier on in the season. He did come up and he didn't really play like himself. So maybe when he gets down there, he'll find a consistent flow to get him back up, because he's a great player overall. He's a good base runner. He can be good defensively if he just gets his mind right. And if he gets his mind right even better, it'll be better on the offensive side. The Mets, on the other hand, they sold their whole team.
Yeah.
Like, they got rid of Huascar Brazoban, they got rid of Luke Weaver, they got rid of Clay Holmes. Who else did they get rid of? It's just too much to name. They did get a lot of young pieces back for the team.
Yeah, that's what they wanted.
And surprisingly, after the trade deadline, their offense has been really hot, but their pitching staff hasn't. And they've been doing this without Juan Soto, so I'm not exactly sure what the Mets' logic is moving forward. The Red Sox and the Rays, they've been continuing to be hot. The Red Sox won, I don't know, like 30 games.
They're probably the hottest team in the MLB by far.
They won like 30 games in their last 35, and a lot of people were saying that they were the worst team in all of baseball. They've been kind of having a similar resurgence to how the Mets had in 2024, where it was just completely dog shit, and then just all of a sudden they just became like, they just went to the NLCS. And the Red Sox, they're doing this without Garrett Crochet as well. The Rays, on the other hand, they picked up a lot of pieces. They traded for Freddie Peralta, and I feel like Freddie Peralta is overrated in my opinion, but maybe he just needed to get out of New York and play well. But right now, the MLB postseason drive continues. It looks like the NL clearly has the better teams, and the AL is just super mid right now. Anybody could come out the AL. Like, if you had a lot of people didn't think the Rays were going to be this good, and you have the Rays as the best team in the AL. It kind of shows you how much level of competition there is on the NL side versus the AL side. But clearly right now, it's clearly the Dodgers are number one, potentially Braves if they're healthy, number two, and if the Brewers, they decide to show up in the postseason, because they had the best record in MLB right now for some strange reason, but they had that the last two seasons, and they just get bounced out either in the wild card round or in the AL, NLDS. So right now it's exciting. We have about a month and a half left in the season.
For sure.
A lot of stars need to come back, especially on the AL side. But this is a fun MLB season. It was crazy is there hasn't been a lot of home runs hit this whole entire season, and pitching's been a lot better.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, and you see that play a factor with obviously the recording system, with the batting system and all that stuff. That all plays a factor, and you see it because now your home runs are much less. Pitches are getting called a lot more, where they have to be more strategic with their pitches. So that usually means that the pitching is going to be better, and when the pitching's better, obviously your hitting's not going to be as great. But this MLB season, it has been shaping up where it's kind of all over the place, where a lot of people, like you said, could come out of the AL. The NL is pretty much down to 2-3 teams at this point, where people really expect it to go down into.
It is quite crazy to say, but it is baseball after all. And obviously, when it comes to the postseason, it's going to all depend on pitching. You know, if the Dodgers hitters aren't hitting, the pitching staff needs to step up, vice versa, to any team out there. So, yeah.
All right, but that sums up our MLB recap for this week. Next up on our sports recap is the NBA. Now, the NBA just announced their regular season games. That's going to be pretty much the ones that start off the season, and our Christmas Day games. So we pretty much want to talk about it real quick. We have a triple header to start off the NBA season.
Which is a shock, because there's usually 2 games.
Yeah, but now, obviously, now with them being on Peacock, this is just, they're going to take over the whole platform where they can just air games all day long.
Yeah.
So first up, we got Farden's Boston Celtics, which is actually, they're starting off the damn NBA season against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I'm like, a 3 o'clock game for them. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. My quick thoughts about this game is, we got rid of Jaylen Brown. And this is a new, fresh-faced Celtics. We signed Mitchell Robinson. We signed Mike Conley Jr. We bought back Neemias Queta for a couple of years. And the starting lineup is looking like it's going to be Peyton Pritchard finally starting, Derek White, Paul George, Jason Tatum. I still think that Neemias Queta starts over Mitchell Robinson to start the season.
Yeah.
But
ultimately, it will lead to Mitchell probably
eventually, and that's good, because now you have 2 big men that can, I guess, rebound, right? And it gives Neemias Queta the opportunity to play off the bench and stuff like that. But we're going to see Hack and Mitch throughout the season, like we always have. On the Pistons side, they didn't really do much this offseason, especially them being the 1 seed. So they're going to just be running it back with the same crew. And I'm excited for this game, because I'm obviously a Celtic fan, but this is going to show, I guess, how the Celtics go moving on towards the season and how the Pistons do against the top team potentially in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's gonna show you two things. I think, in my opinion, you're gonna see how good are the Celtics without Jaylen Brown, and you're gonna see is Cade Cunningham and the Pistons a fluke.
Yeah,
that's the two things that I'm gonna first look for in this game. So obviously, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on this game on the Celtics side because you decided to just move on from Jaylen Brown, and that ultimately led to what's going to be the next game, where Jaylen Brown is going to be joining his new Philadelphia 76ers to take on the defending champions and the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden.
This is going to be the most watched game in NBA history.
Most
watched regular season game.
Mind you, we didn't even talk about how LeBron James is now a damn Philadelphia 76er. So that starting lineup against this New York Knicks team is going to be the most highlight and the most show-stopping match probably of the entire first week of the NBA season. And I can't wait to see LeBron James, obviously, against New York Knicks at the MSG. You're going to see Jaylen Brown, what he can do with a new team. Tyrese Maxey, how can he play along with these ball-dominant guards? With Joel Embiid, how healthy he's going to be. There's been photos of Joel Embiid looking very swole, looking very healthy, looking very motivated. So are you going to get an MVP level of Embiid back? That automatically just scares you because MVP Joel Embiid, I think he's absolutely unguardable. Nobody can guard him when he's on his MVP level. And you got the New York Knicks, team ball. That's all it is at this point.
Power of friendship.
The power of friendship. Jalen Brunson coming back, Finals MVP, ready to show out. I'm pretty sure Brunson, he is coming off a wrist injury, so we're gonna see how much that affected him. But this is going to be a fun game to watch, and I'm very excited for this game. And then finally, we got pretty much the matchup of the West, where it's the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, this is like the flip-flop of the Sixers-Knicks in the Western Conference side, realistically.
You got Victor Wembanyama versus Chet Holmgren, who's ready to pretty much let's see what he can do after getting pretty much destroyed online by the entire series. And I don't know what's going to happen in this. I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be very motivated to pretty much get a win over them. Jalen Williams is going to be motivated. He's going to come back. I feel like the San Antonio Spurs, they're going to be very motivated as well because they do probably feel like they could have won that damn finals because they were up 70% of that finals. So Victor Wembanyama, him angry, him upset. I want to see how that plays out because we all know last year the Spurs had their number. And can we see OKC come out and show them that they are the true favorites in the West? Let's talk about the Christmas Day games. Now, Christmas Day games, we have the NBA Finals rematch. We have the Spurs versus the Knicks. This is going to be fun to see as well because obviously we know, I think this is going to be an MSG too, so Victor Wembanyama is coming back to MSG. What can the Spurs do? Can they show that they really truly were the better team? I feel like it's going to be fun to see Jalen Brunson against these young guards in Castle and Harper again after being away from each other for a while. Let's see how it goes.
I feel like they could have... I get the idea of putting this on Christmas Day, but I feel like a 12 o'clock game, they should have put this later on in the day. But I don't make the rules or schedule for this, but this is going to be a fun game to watch.
Next up, we got the Miami Heat with the new Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo versus the Boston Celtics. Now, these two franchises already have a rival history. Can we see a new possible rivalry history being started up with Giannis and Bam versus Jason Tatum and that team? We'll see.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I feel like the early 2020s, it was Giannis versus Tatum pretty much all years, realistically. Yeah. And this is going to be another one of those situations where...
Different scenarios.
Much more heated franchises versus the Bucks and Celtics. This is the Heat and the Celtics. And they've been rivalry pretty much the last decade, realistically. So this is going to be another fun one. I think this Christmas slate, one of the best Christmas slates of all time.
Yeah, and then we got LeBron James and the Philadelphia 76ers returning back to LA against Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I know that this is going to be a very this is going to be probably the most watched game, in my opinion, on Christmas Day because of LeBron coming home to LA, well, his secondary home. And Luka Doncic, where the Lakers went all in on him. They gave him the team that he wanted. Pretty much surrounded him with a bunch of shooters, a bunch of 3-and-D guys. And this is Luka or nothing at this point for the Los Angeles Lakers. So we'll see, is this finally going to be the year where Luka Doncic has no pressure and can just be himself
and can stay healthy
and be an MVP player, which he's been probably an MVP player for the last 5 years, been in the conversation, but can he actually put up those numbers and wins to finally become an MVP this season? And we're gonna see how it goes. Can Luka Doncic alone take down that entire monstrous Philadelphia 76ers team? I feel like right then and there, by this point in Christmas, if Luka Doncic is in that MVP caliber level, where he's already in the top 3, in my opinion, if he's able to beat this Sixers team, he might jump himself to that top tier MVP caliber voting at that point.
Yeah, the ghost of Jaylen Brown, I'm guarding him in the finals from a couple of years ago. This is his chance to prove that he can overcome that. And
right.
I think Luka Doncic is going to be the favorite. You still have Nikola Jokic, but Luka Doncic should be the favorite to win MVP this season.
Next up, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the new Timberwolves with LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards, the most electric backcourt in the NBA, in my opinion, because you got LaMelo Ball, who is all flash, who is all game. He's a really pure point guard, one of the few left in this game. And you got Anthony Edwards, who can now be less ball dominant and just score. Just get the ball in the basket is going to be his goal, where I think Anthony Edwards is going to be also an MVP level player.
Having LaMelo Ball there is going to open up his game a lot more than he already has in the last couple of years. So he's going to get the opportunities to play off ball, which he's done really well, even with lesser of a talent than LaMelo Ball.
For sure. We're going to see it with a lot of pick and rolls with Rudy Gobert. It's going to be a lot of lob threats. Now with LaMelo Ball being an elite passer, I think this is pretty much going to be a make or break season for the Timberwolves, in my opinion, where Anthony Edwards, we're going to figure out if he's really like that or if he's going to just move on from the Timberwolves. I think this is going to be a season where we're going to need to see huge production from those two moving forward, because they obviously went all in with these guys. And then on our last Christmas slate, we got Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, which is pretty much the same team as always. They're running it back again with Jamal Murray, the most inconsistent player in the NBA, in my opinion. We got Aaron Gordon, who can't stay healthy in the last 2 years, which pretty much hindered them. Christian Braun. And they didn't really add a big piece to their team, which they haven't in a long time, ever since they won the championship. And I feel like this trade deadline, by the time the trade deadline comes around, they got to do something if they're not really a top tier, because you're going to have the Thunder running away with it, you're going to have the Spurs running away with it, and you're going to have Houston also, who's going to be looking good as well. And it's just...
And if Luka Doncic stays healthy, also the
Lakers are going to stay in this well. So I know that Nikola Jokic, he's going to stay a Denver Nugget forever, most likely. I don't think he's going anywhere, in my opinion, because I don't think he's the type of player to chase rings or chase money like that, because he's already getting Supermax at this point. So we'll see what the Denver Nuggets want to do to feed Nikola Jokic to make sure that he wants to be a champion again.
Yeah.
But they're facing the aging superstar in Stephen Curry, where there was a lot of talks about Stephen Curry possibly going somewhere or somebody trying to join him, but the Warriors kind of failed him and did not get him anybody. And at this point, Stephen Curry, would he ever realistically go anywhere at this point? I doubt it, because it's kind of too late in his career. We've seen Draymond Green re-sign. There's talks of Klay Thompson coming back, the Splash Brothers reuniting again with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr being there still. I feel like Kerr probably has a year or two left in him, and we're going to see what this old aging dynasty of the Warriors can still do. I know they really want to bring Klay back and run him back again and see what they can truly do together, but Steph Curry still, in my opinion, is gonna be a top 3 point guard in the league. He's absolutely can still play another 5 years if he wanted to with his play style.
Yeah, this Warriors team like 10 years ago would have been the best lineup in the NBA, which is kind of crazy to think about of who they have on their team.
Right.
So.
Jimmy Butler is also still coming off an injury, so we don't know.
He's probably not gonna come back till at least the new year. Like I want to say like January he's gonna come back.
So the Warriors, they're obviously always going to be talk of the town. I know they're going to be trying to get trade assets as well during the trade deadline, trying to get somebody there, because we know they probably wanted to get LeBron James. That didn't work out. And I feel like we can definitely see a big guard there. And here's someone to look out for that we just talked about, Anthony Edwards. He's a prime target that can go play with Stephen Curry if it doesn't work out with LaMelo Ball and him moving to a new target, a new place like Golden State, carrying that mantle over. That'd be something fun to see as well. I do feel like that the Warriors are going to try to start pushing for their future now.
Yeah,
especially not building around Steph Curry in his last few years, probably left in the league.
Yeah.
But that's the NBA schedule so far. Any other big games that's pretty much announced, they pretty much are announced at this point. But whatever the NBA season kind of happens leading up to it, any other signings or trades or whatever happens, we're going to talk about it, obviously. But the NBA season is very much around the corner already. It's crazy that the finals were a few months ago and now we're coming up on the NBA season as well. So plus exciting, the new rookies are coming in, so I feel like they're going to change up the league as well. And the NBA season is going to be this one coming up is going to be one of the most exciting ones for sure. And we definitely see that the NBA is playing into that with all these matchups that they have for opening night and Christmas Day. But that sums up our NBA recap for this week. All right, guys, today we're going to be doing WWE Trivia Challenge. It's going to be a bunch of different questions where we're pretty much going to be playing each other. We're going to do up to 20 questions. We're going to see who gets the most right and see who has the best WWE Trivia overall. So question 1, which superstar entrance music contains the lyrics, "They broke the mold when they made me"? Okay. They broke the mold when they made me.
I'm going to just do a guess here.
Right,
I don't remember.
I'm going to go, let's do this. All right, I'm revealing 3, 2, 1. I went with Dolph Ziggler.
I went with Mr. Perfect.
All right, let's see what it is. Oh, it was Dolph Ziggler. I feel like I remember it, so I got 1 point there. All right, next.
Which of the following championships has John Cena never held? Intercontinental, WWE Tag Team Championship, U.S. Championship, World Tag Team Championship. Interesting.
Well, I feel like this is easy if you follow John Cena. Like, this is kind of easy to me. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I went with A. I went with IC Championship.
But he won the IC Championship. Remember
he did win the IC Championship.
I went with D, the World Tag Team Championship.
I feel like he won that with
I think that was the WWE Tag Team Championship.
This might be before he won the IC Championship, to be fair.
Okay, let's see.
Because I feel like he did win this with Batista when they were doing...
I think it was the WWE Tag Team Championship.
Yeah, preface, this is before WrestleMania. So, I mean, not WrestleMania. This is before that Monday Night Raw where John Cena won that IC Championship. All right. To be fair, I'm not grabbing a point for that one then. So it's still 1-0. Question 3: Edge and Christian famous 5-second poses were according to them for the benefit of those with. Okay, I know this one. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I went with B, flash photography.
I went with A, short attention.
I went with flash photography because I remember all the cameramen used to come in. They used to take a bunch of pictures with them.
Yeah.
And then posing. So I think it's definitely flash photography. Yeah, flash photography. All right, that's 2 for me. Go ahead.
True or false? At 25 years, 1 month, 13 days old, Yokozuna became the youngest WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
At 25 years? No, I don't.
Yeah, but I think it's specific with the 1 month and 13 days.
That might be a trick. I don't know. I'm going to go with my gut. I just feel like...
Wait.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my gut with this one. All right, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. I went with false.
Oh, true. I feel like they wouldn't put it. It's probably false. Oh, Brock
Lesnar.
I knew there was somebody there, but I didn't want to believe it.
All right, next. Which former member of the Shield is the only one to hold the Intercontinental Championship?
It's only a 33% chance here.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I went with Seth Rollins.
I went Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose held the United States Championship.
But Seth Rollins won the... Who did he beat the IC title for?
Remember, he held it on Monday Night Raw for a while, and he was doing the open challenges with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Seth.
Oh, it is Dean Ambrose.
Wait, who am I thinking of then? Was Seth doing it with the U.S. title?
Probably the U.S. title.
All right, so...
I got one. Finally.
Okay.
Shit. Which superstar was the first to hold the Divas Championship in 2008?
The Divas Championship. Oh, I think I know this one. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I went with A, Maurice.
I went with Michelle McCool. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember distinctly that year.
But I see. I definitely know Maurice definitely held it for a long time or something. All right. Next. Which superstar did Shawn Michaels not partner with to capture the WWE World Tag Team Championship? Not partner with. You know, I think they teamed together, but I don't think they won it. 3, 2, 1. I went with John Cena.
I went with Triple H.
Marty Jannetty. Oh, this is probably before they broke up and everything.
Yeah.
Well, definitely Triple H. They won. They were DX together.
But they won the tag team like the regular tag team championship.
No, remember that run when they were with Hornswoggle and they were facing? They were definitely tag team champions at that time. Marty Jannetty, that makes a lot of sense. They probably broke up by the time that even came around.
All right, WrestleMania 20, Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar with this superstar acting as a special guest referee.
Okay, I think everybody knows this one. All right, 3, 2, 1. I want to be Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, yeah.
All right.
That was a time to be alive back in the day.
Yeah. All right, that's 4 for me. Question 9. Which superstar said the following? I am not the biggest, I am not the strongest, but I damn sure the toughest.
There's a lot of good options here.
Yeah. I think I know who this is. Based off just a huge babyface promo, it sounds like it could be. 3, 2, 1. I went with A, Daniel Bryan.
I went with Dolph Ziggler. I feel like it's something Ziggler would say. I could be wrong, though.
Daniel Bryan. This is definitely during his authority days. Where they were just ganging up on him. Question 10.
True or false, Chris Jericho holds the longest Intercontinental title reign of 454 days. Well, I don't know how recent this is. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with false because we know it's Gunther
yeah.
at 666.
A stag for the law.
So yeah, it belonged to Honky Tonk Man before this, so it's definitely...
We get a point for that.
Yeah, I think we both get a point for this because we obviously know it. Question 11. The longest women's championship reign lasting an astounding 10,170 days belongs to which WWE Hall of Famer? All right, 3, 2, 1. I went with the A, Alundra Blaze.
I went with Alundra Blaze too. How long is that?
Fabulous Moolah. 10,000 days? Are you kidding me?
It's got to be at least 15 years or something. I don't know.
Question 12. Which of the following superstars is not billed as from being parts unknown?
Non-billed.
Yeah.
Kane.
Okay, definitely I know Kane is from parts unknown. I don't really know the other, if it could be. You know, I'm going to go with, just because I feel like it could be him. 3, 2, 1. I went with C, Giant Gonzalez.
I went Giant Gonzalez too.
Boogeyman. Where the hell was the Boogeyman from then?
He's definitely from somewhere, this guy. From underneath my bed, apparently.
Question 13.
Of the following superstar who is not a former NXT champion? Big E, Bo Dallas, Neville.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I went with D, Tyler Breeze.
I went with Big E.
Oh, Big E was definitely champion. Yeah, it was Tyler Breeze.
This
Big E was the second champion, I think, ever.
Mog-ass Tyler Breeze.
Question 14. True or false, Santino Marella debuted in Milan, Italy, where he defeated Umaga to win the Intercontinental Championship. Three, 2, 1. I went with true.
I went with false.
That's definitely true because I remember that as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
beat Umaga with the help of Bobby Lashley.
Oh. That was when they set up that the
The WrestleMania
Trump
match, yeah. Question 15. Which was the result of the first ever WrestleMania match in 1985? The first WrestleMania match, okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. I want B. King Kong Bundy defeated the Special Delivery. Tito Santana versus the Executioner. Okay, interesting. All right, next.
16. Complete the following sentence. I'm the Miz. I mean,
well, at this point, who the hell doesn't know this? I feel like it's one of the most memorable catchphrases, honestly, in WWE history. I want to be awesome. All right, question 17. Which superstar won the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match in 2005? All right, 3, 2, 1. I want to beat Edge.
Oh, it Kane.
In 2005?
Yeah, didn't he win it?
No. It was definitely Edge because he cashed in on John Cena at New Year's Revolution.
Oh, so what? Kane won the tipping.
He won it, but he won that. Remember, he won that on SmackDown. Like it was years later, and then he cashed it in on Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay. All right.
Question 18.
Which superstar did Stone Cold Steve Austin defeat in the 1996 King of the Ring tournament before coining the Austin 316?
So who did he beat before? Okay, in the King of the Ring finals. All right, 3, 2, 1. I want to beat Jake the Snake.
I want Michael Hayes.
Jake the Snake. Next. Which of the following superstars have not won the Intercontinental Championship at least 5 times? Okay. 5 times? Okay. I think it's... All right, 3, 2, 1. I want to beat Jeff Hardy.
I want Jeff Hardy too.
Yep. Because I feel like he won the championship a few times, but I feel like he had long reigns with them, especially in the late 2000s.
Yeah. Last question: true or false? The Rock won the WWE World Tag Team Championships pairing with The Undertaker.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I went with true.
Oh, true too.
All right. So that's pretty much the quiz. Tally up the totals. Let's see. What did I get? I think. All right. Ready? Let's reveal what we got. 3, 2, 1. I got 13 out of 20.
I got 7.
All right. Oh, you kept my score.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. WWE quiz, trivia. You know, obviously a lot of these questions were from back then, before we even started watching. But day to day, we're still trying to be wrestling connoisseurs and know our history as well. But that's the WWE quiz. All right, guys. That's our episode for this week. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.